Hi friends, Christy here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today, I'm going to be kicking off my July NetGALLEY vlog. This is a series that I've started doing in May, and every month I'm going to take a look at the books that I have on NetGALLEY that were published in the month of July across multiple years and try to read some of them and write the reviews in order to get my NetGALLEY feedback ratio up before the end of the year. The goal is to get it to 50%. I currently am at 37%, I believe, and I didn't check it right before here, but I think that's where I landed at the end of June. And so we're going to see if I can raise that a little bit more. I would love to get it to 40 if I can before the end of July. But here's the plan. So here's my list of July books. 5 of them are coming out this July, right now, 2025. 3 of them, you can see on the bottom there, I've already read. The Lost Story, I think, is one. Hello Stranger. And I forget what the other one is. So I already, off the bat, have 3 books to review. I actually did read The Lost Story this month, so maybe I'll talk about that in this vlog as well. It'll also be in my catch-up-a-thon stuff. So I have read 3. I'm currently 50% through a book on my Kindle, Made for Each Other, which is a July 2025 release. And I think that is going to be it for new books that I'm going to read. I also have this list of about 13 books that I've already read and not reviewed on NetGALLEY. And so this month I'm going to try to knock off quite a few of those. I won't get to all 13 of them, but if I could do the 3 from July plus the one I'm currently reading and maybe about 4 or 5 more, maybe I should just try to round it up to an even 10 and get 10 reviews written this month. That would be awesome. That would be really cool. I'm going to focus on that because I have so many books I want to read in July that I don't want to keep adding more books to the stack. I've barely touched my Flip and Roll TBR. I still have catch-up-a-thon books I want to read. I still have Patreon books I need to read. So I don't want to add to the pile by adding more NetGALLEY books to the mix. So I'm going to finish reading Made for Each Other, and I did already read The Lost Story. So that's 2 new ones, July releases that I've read, and we're going to call that quits for new ones that I'm reading, and we're just going to focus on writing reviews. So that is where things stand with my NetGALLEY at the moment. I will tell you the book that I'm reading on my Kindle is Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter, and this is so much fun. I'm really enjoying my read of it. I'm 50% of the way through. We're following 2 people, Abby and Dex. Abby is a grad student, but she is working 2 jobs. She works at a diner and she also works as a cleaning woman. So during the day, she works at the diner, and then overnight shift, a couple times a week, she cleans houses for wealthy people. Well, right at the beginning, her apartment building where she lives has to get fumigated. And so she has nowhere to go. She doesn't have family nearby, and she is not wealthy enough to spend the week in a hotel. So she knows that at one of her places where she cleans, the owner is away for the week on a business trip. And so she thinks, I'm just going to go stay there. Nobody will know. I'll keep it clean. Like, she cleans the place, so she knows how it gets cleaned. So she does. She stays over at the penthouse where she cleans and wakes up in the morning and his parents are there. Unfortunately or fortunately for the story, her name is Abby, and he has created this fake girlfriend named Abby and told his parents and his workmates and all of these people about his fake girlfriend. Well, when real Abby shows up, wakes up in the morning, his parents are there in the apartment and think that she's his girlfriend. They share the same name. So when he returns, they have a conversation, and she agrees to pretend to be his girlfriend for a little bit, for work reasons and all of this, whatever. It's a lot of fun. She has a hard time with people who have a lot of money because she has always had to struggle. So she's, and he does come across, especially at the beginning, as very, very arrogant and privileged, just incredibly privileged. They're having some fun banter going back and forth. We're getting both of their perspectives in the story. They find each other very attractive, but don't really understand each other's lives. So I'm very curious to see how it's all going to come together, but they're being more and more drawn to each other as the story goes on. So I'm really enjoying Made for Each Other. I don't think I've ever given a rom-com 5 stars. So I'm not expecting it to be a 5-star read, but for now it's looking like a strong 4. So we shall see how that goes. I'm hoping it doesn't get steamy. So far there's been a kiss and that's it, and I'm totally fine with that. It was a pretty steamy kiss, so I was like, oh, I don't know where we're gonna go with this story, but we'll see. So that is where things are at the moment. I will check back in when I get farther in this book or finish it, and also to check in about some reviews that I'll be writing within the next few days. Stay tuned. Hello friends, it is now July 31st, the last day of the month, and I have not yet sat down to take some time to write any NetGalley reviews, so that is what I'm going to be doing during nap time today. Little girl is awake and not fussing yet, so I'm just letting her kind of lay in bed for a minute. But I just got done writing my review for Made for Each Other, which is the only July book that I read this month. Oh no, I did read The Lost Story too, which I also need to write a review for. Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter was such a fun read. Since it's the end of the month, I don't remember if I have hopped on to tell you what I thought about the book while I read it, but it was just a rom-com that wasn't doing anything new, really. It definitely had Pretty Woman, Made in Manhattan, Cinderella vibes. So they do end up fake dating, and she gets enmeshed in his life a little bit. They have really good, fun banter, and it was just the kind of read that I was looking for this summer. So in my review, I think I say the word fun too many times, but I just talk about it being a fun read. I loved this fake dating, Grumpy Sunshine Cinderella story. It wasn't really doing anything new, so it was kind of predictable, but it was fun. Their banter was great. I love his parents, and I really enjoyed the story very much. It just was the right book at the right time for me. So I'm giving it 4 stars. Probably is really honestly more like a 3. I don't think it's ultimately memorable, but because it was the right book at the right time, I'm just sticking with my 4-star review that I gave it on Goodreads, and I'm going to go ahead and share this review over on Goodreads, and then I probably won't be able to write anymore right now, but this afternoon during nap time, I will try to get 4 more reviews written so that I can get my 5 done for the month. I think I said more than that earlier, but I'm going to try to just do the 5 since I'm pushing it right up to the end of the month here. Okay. I will check in later and let you know what other reviews I write this afternoon. All right, we're back. It is nap number 2 of the day. And so here I am back to writing some more reviews. I just went ahead and did the one for The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I liked The Wishing Game better than this one, but I enjoyed this while I read it. And I think in part that's because I read it right after reading Kingdom of Back, and I didn't care for Kingdom of Back at all. I ended up giving this one 3.5, rounded up to 4 stars. I said I was hopeful for a little bit more of the Narnia-inspired nature of this. There's just basically an alternate world that you kind of walk through a portal to get to. Jeremy and Rafe are 2 of our main characters. When they were teenagers, they went missing for 6 months. 15 years later, and when they came back, Jeremy ended up being very good at finding lost people, and Rafe doesn't really have memories of their time away, and Jeremy's not talking about it. But Emily just learned that she has this sister who's gone missing, and she recruits Jeremy, and then Jeremy recruits Rafe to find her sister. So they go back to this fairy tale world. I like the fairy tale vibes. What did I say? I like the fairy tale vibes and how things are revealed as the story plays out. I like the found family aspect. I like how it deals with processing trauma. I enjoyed the good versus evil aspect that's in the fairy tale world. There was a romance in this that I just didn't feel was necessary. I wish the 2 people involved in the romance would have just been really good friends, because I think good friendships are really special, and I didn't think that it needed to turn to the point of romance and being in love with each other. I didn't think that was necessary. Overall, it gets 3.5 rounded up to 4. So nice short review, but it's done. I've already put it over onto Goodreads. So I'm going to say I am not interested in connecting with the author. Would I purchase this book for yourself or a friend? I already did, but no. Will you recommend it? Sure. I mean, it's fine. Submit opinion. So when I just checked after doing Made for Each Other, my NetGalley score, if you will, ratio was 37, and it's still at 37. I'm hoping if I write 3 more, it will go up. We shall see. So next up, I did see that I have 2 other July books that I have read in the past, Hello Stranger and Bet on It, which I actually DNF'd, but I will write a review so that I can, if it's even in here. I might have said already that I'm not going to read that one, but those were both July books as well. So those will be the next 2 that I take care of. Okay, so I just wrote 2 reviews. I couldn't find Bet on It, so I must have already taken care of that one. But I did Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I really enjoyed this book. It's not my favorite Center book, but I did say in my review that she writes her romances with such depth, heart, and humor, which I really like. They almost feel more just like a contemporary because they're focused on much more than just simply the romance. For a quick summary, I said Sadie's job as a portrait artist is jeopardized when an accident occurs that leaves her with face blindness. I loved reading about how Sadie tackled this new situation in life. I did not love the dysfunctional family, and the best friend drove me crazy, and even Sadie made me frustrated at times, but I did like how it all comes to a conclusion. Center does a great job writing fun and realistic banter, and it wasn't my favorite of her books, but I flew through it because I needed to know how it would all play out. Overall, this one gets a 4 stars for me. That's what I said for Hello Stranger, and I've already finished that one. Shelterwood by Lisa Wingate is one that I read in June, so I figured it's a little more fresh on my mind. Let me go ahead and write this review since I didn't get to writing the review in June. So I said for this one is a dual timeline historical fiction set in Oklahoma. I said Ollie is the star of the show in this dual timeline historical set in Oklahoma. In the early 1900s, Ollie and her adopted Choctaw sister run away into the wilderness to escape an awful stepdad situation. I love the found family aspect, and I love that Ollie is a resourceful, nurturing, imperfect, but wonderful character. And I loved learning about Oklahoma during that time period, and it was hard reading their story, but it was hope-filled as well. In the other storyline, we follow a female park ranger in the 1990s. I loved reading about her struggles as a female in that arena, and her determination and the mystery that this timeline has was intriguing. Wingate really does her research, and it shows. Overall, I thought some parts of the story were a tiny bit slow at times, but I was invested all the way through. So another 4-star read. As you know, I most often give books 4 stars. So that one, I need to copy the link to the review. And again, I am not really interested in connecting with the author at this time, but I will recommend that one. Submit. And let's now go and check if I've gone up. I just put 2 more reviews in. So let's see what my ratio is. 38. Went up another percentage point. I'm just going to keep going. Little girl is still napping, so maybe I can get 2 more done, and then we'll probably wrap it up at that point. All right, it has gotten a bit darker because a thunderstorm is coming in, but I did do 2 more reviews, which is perfect timing because Little Nugget is about waking up. She's moving around a little bit. Her eyes are open, but she's not fussing yet. So I went ahead and did a review for The Secrets of Hartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden. I didn't love this one. Actually, both of the reviews I wrote, I gave a 2.5, rounded up to 3, and didn't really care for them. So maybe that's why they stand out to me. But yeah, so for The Secrets of Hartwood Hall, I was so hopeful that I would love this story, and I think she did a great job with atmosphere. I was ready for an intriguing mystery and all the gothic Victorian Jane Eyre vibes. But there was a bit more sexual content, male-female and female-female, and that focus ended up making this a miss for me overall. But also, what did I say? I do think the setting and atmosphere were done really well. The buildup was great. It felt mysterious and creepy at times, but the execution of the story fell flat. I found like I didn't care about the characters or even the mystery by the end. The pacing was slow. Nothing really happened. I found myself rolling my eyes. The main character was annoying and made choices I really struggled with. 2.5 stars rounded up to 3 for atmosphere. So that was a bummer of a read. And then The Magnificent Lives of Marjorie Post by Alison Pataki. You guys may remember this one because I ended up going to visit one of her houses in the DC area. And that was really cool, getting to read the book and then going immediately after to visit a place that's basically a museum of her life. And I liked that I got to see the house, but The book felt more like a biography than a historical fiction. We follow Marjorie from the time she's a young child all the way through her life, all of her great business decisions, how she spent her immense wealth, and her many husbands and their relationships. It started to feel quite slow and plodding along and very repetitive. She would fall in love with a guy, get married, and then he would betray her and they would get divorced. And then that would repeat multiple times. I think she was married 5 times. It was frustrating that she never seemed to learn from her mistakes. I mean, you can't really blame that on the author. It's more about the woman herself. I also didn't love the way that the story was told was from Marjorie's perspective, and it just came across as arrogant at times, and the name dropping and collections of royal artifacts just for the sake of it, like the immense spending of all of that money just was off-putting to me. I was most interested in the childhood years of her story, and the best part was visiting her house and grounds in the DC area. Overall, 2.5 stars, rounded up to a 3. So I've put that in there. I've shared it. I've done all the things, but I have not checked if my score went up again. Let's see. It is now 39%, moving up in the world. If I could just keep writing reviews, I would get that score up there. Goodness, I just got done writing, 5 reviews this afternoon? And that's going to wrap things up for this vlog, though. I'm not going to do any more right now. I will do some more in August. Obviously, I'll have a NetGALLEY vlog in August as well. So in July, I read The Lost Story and Made for Each Other, and I wrote 5 reviews. All in all, I'm pretty pleased about that progress. 39%. Let's see that get above 40 in August. That would be amazing. And we're going to wrap things up here. So let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about in this video, and if you felt the same as me or different from me. I know on some of them I'm a little bit of an outlier, but I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the books mentioned in here or anything else you want to talk about. How is your NetGALLEY going for those of you who have NetGALLEY? I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. And if you made it this far but you don't really have anything to add in the comments, just like last time, I'm going to have you put the emoji with like the pen and the paper, because I've been writing reviews like crazy this afternoon. That just helps me to know who's here so I can see that you've watched. And also it helps YouTube share my video with more people. It helps give me a little boost in the algorithm. So thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.